Let's talk about some things that I think are really important for senior living communities to understand about purposeful engagement and dementia care. My name is Carrie Alberts, aka Dementia Darling, and I am a dementia educator and supporter. I like to think of myself as a dementia caregiver cheerleader. I currently focus on age tech and all different kinds of engagement technologies and innovations that are out there right now made for people living with dementia. This is a new thing for our industry, as we haven't really had anything available in the past that is created for our people living with dementia. It is so exciting to see things catered to them and their needs to help with their quality of life. I am passionate about bringing joy to the everyday in dementia care. We all need to see the joy and the loving moments that we can have along this really difficult work that you do. My journey in the senior living and aging care industry really started with my grandmother, who was living with dementia and passed away when I was 13. My father was her family caregiver, and he did everything he could to give her the best quality of life through her dementia journey. It inspired me to truly study what happens along the dementia journey and how to support family caregivers. I was able to, in college, focus on gerontology, the study of aging, and even more so, dementia care and how dementia progresses. What solidified my passion was throughout my college experience, I got to work at an intergenerational adult daycare center. It was truly some of the most joyous moments of my career, and I owe it all to those people that I cared for back in the early days of my college years that truly made me realize this was my purpose. I give it all to the people that I've cared for. I owe it all to them. They've solidified why I am here on this earth. I know that might sound intense, but I truly do know that my purpose is to help bring joy and help with the quality of life of the entire dementia community as a whole. I am truly passionate about supporting caregivers, professional and family, and people living with dementia. I want us all to know that there's joy along the journey. So my career in memory cares and assisted livings, being an activity director, was really exciting, and that really grew my passion to find joy and engagement and break through apathy. This led to my time working in age tech companies that are sharing wonderful technologies in the senior living space. You probably know a lot of them. Some like IN2Well, LifeLoop, and now Ugeria. I currently share amazing innovations from all over the world with a company called Ugeria. Ugeria is a one-stop shop for dementia caregiver tools, and it's an honor to share these incredible innovations that we might not have had in the US yet, and I get the honor of bringing them here from other countries so we can see what is available and see what the future can hold. When we take the time as caregivers to pursue moments of connection and purposeful engagement with our residents living with dementia, it strengthens that trust and bond you will have with them that will in turn make the alliedship in caregiving easier. If someone is caring for you and also doing intimate things, right? We're showering, we're going to the restroom, we're dressing someone, we're feeding someone, and we would want to trust that person. We would want to feel comfortable with them. We would want to know that they know them and they know things about me that make me feel special and bring me joy and put the effort in to actually get to know me, because they are people and they are living with dementia, but they are people with rich pasts that have so much to offer. And we just have to take the time. I know it can be hard. I know you're busy. You have the hardest job on earth. I just want you to know that you are amazing. I'm truly grateful for the work that you do. I want you to know how special you are to this industry and that we cannot do this without you. We need you. You're special. Take care of yourself as well. Self-care is so important in this industry, and we don't talk about it enough. You need to make sure you're caring for yourself. And just know that the bonds that we create with our residents is only going to better our day-to-day work and better the interactions we have and the joy that we can have at work as well. When we are truly stepping into the role of being their partner, being their friend, not just getting in and getting out. It's more of a relationship. We have to think, what would we want if we were in their position? And what will we want in the future if we need this care? Some ways that you can go on to create meaningful connection is, first, I want to just state as like a forewarning that it's okay that it doesn't always work out or, go the way we plan. Especially if you're already working in dementia care, you know that things don't usually go to plan and you're always adapting and being flexible. And that's really an important part of the job. So keeping that in mind, do not beat yourself up. I often would if I couldn't connect with someone longer than a couple minutes, because sometimes that's all we can get, and that's okay. It's a beautiful connection. Even if it is a small amount of time, that counts. And even if, we can't get there every day, that's okay. It means that you're trying, and that's what matters, because you're showing up for your residents. And it's important that you're putting in the effort to try to connect with them, and that will build and lead to connections, I promise. So keeping that in mind, building connection starts with getting to know your person. And I know that can't always be easy when someone might not be as verbal or able to tell you a lot about their past, but that's when utilizing family caregivers is essential. Utilizing any information you're able to get about their past and their likes and their dislikes, and you're able to start conversations around the knowledge you have to create trust and to give them a way to talk about things that are important to them. So for example, you find out their lifelong career was teaching. So start there. Ask them about teaching. And if they can't grasp that, or they're in a place where they weren't a teacher yet in their mind, just talking about any type of school day memories or favorite teachers they had or their favorite subject in school. What did they eat for lunch? And, when they were little, you can pull a lot from learning one thing, right? And then you can build from the information they give you or others when you're able to communicate that are part of their life and that know them. So giving your residents the time to respond and the patience on your part is essential, because not everyone can respond fast and quick and say, oh, I was a teacher. Yeah, da, da, da. And sometimes we don't give them enough time to process and tell us. So take the time when able to ask a question that's simple and straightforward, and then give them the chance to respond. Give them the chance to internalize it and see that you're there talking to them. As I stated earlier, being eye to eye, getting on their level, and being very personable, having that good energy is essential in these scenarios, because we want to build that trust. Dementia care takes creativity. We can use what we have at our disposal and utilize YouTube for music and look back at different types of music and get some dancing videos and see if anything sparks something, and you can really go from there. You can also start with different tools like one of the baby dolls you might have around, or a Joy for All pet companion. Having pet therapy might bring about some really good reminiscing as well. But what we want to make sure that we're doing is giving them the space to have these moments of connection and having things that are presented to them that are relevant to their interests. And I know, again, as I stated, this is a process. We need to get to learn as much as we can, but you can start being a detective and trying things and see what sparks. So I encourage you to take the time to get to know them as much as possible wherever they are in their journey, and finding what sparks joy in their life. It is common to come up against apathy when we are working with individuals living with dementia. Working through apathy to truly create engagement and connection is hard, but we know through research that multisensory stimulation, which is engaging multiple senses at once, is really beneficial to break through apathy and help create these moments of connection. So for example, you could do a cooking or baking activity where you're starting out with looking at pictures of the food you're going to make, reading all the ingredients, touching and smelling the ingredients, creating that, and then eating it. This could be a wonderful, engaging activity that can bring about reminiscing and that can give us moments of true connection. It's important to start talking and encouraging ideas around multisensory stimulation and how you can integrate this into everyday life for your individuals living with dementia. When I think about purposeful engagement, a wonderful memory comes to mind for me when I was having a really cool group for gardening. All the favorite gardeners of the group that wanted to be outside and touch the soil and actually build a garden together. It was a beautiful way for us to connect. We smelled the flowers we were planting. We smelled the soil. We played with it. We got messy. We watered them together, felt the water on our skin. Those are ways to connect with many senses. We did that together. And it was so special because it brought about a lot of connection in the sense that it brought about memories of being in the garden with their parents or their grandparents. And it was a wonderful way for them to talk about really important memories and to connect with the people that were also having a wonderful time reminiscing with the gardening as well. So they could connect with the other residents and have similar experiences from their childhoods. I remember there was 2 women that grew up on similar types of farms, dairy farms, and they were able to talk about the scents, that they used to wake up to. And then that turned into milking cows and talking about the fresh cream and what that tasted like. So that gardening lesson even turned into something more and led to more memories. And then we talked about, animals and then what's on the farm. And then that leads us down so many different paths. And then that brings in more connections for other people. So that's one memory that I love, is having my gardening club, and it always bringing out really beautiful memories for people especially when we would smell the different flowers. This is another direction with that, but when they would smell the flowers, I remember we talked about what flowers did you have at your wedding and your bouquets, or, what flowers did your husband get you, so it turns into these beautiful memories. And then as you're watching your garden grow, you're able to have these consistent experiences that mean something. You're in something together, creating a beautiful thing, and you get to watch it grow together. I always had that group to look forward to. So that's one really great memory for me. We all want to be seen, heard, and recognized, and that doesn't change when we have dementia. You have the ability to do that for your residents every day. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for everything you do for your residents. I have so many resources that I will share through KARE for you, but a few that I want to just throw out there is Zinnia TV, a TV streaming service specifically created for people living with dementia. It's a great way to connect. And then another one that I love is Mirador Magazine, which is a magazine subscription made for people living with dementia. And same with Nana's Books, which is a book line of different types of subjects, and they are ways to reminisce. And these books are beautiful and so accessible, and you can now get them virtually as well. Bridgetown Music Therapy with Alexis is one of my favorites. You can sing along and do some reminiscing with Alexis singing with you on the screen. There's also Utopia Experiences, where you can play actual game shows with your residents, with a game show host on the screen live with you. And it also allows them, for their family members, to get into the Zooms and watch their loved one enjoy themselves. I will share more along the way. Thanks so much for all that you do, caregivers, and know that you are not alone and that there are wonderful resources for you to know about. I can't wait to share more with you, so make sure to follow me at Dementia Darling.